So for me, when I got started, and this may be the same with you guys, when I got started, there was free traffic, but it was difficult. It was really, I mean, literally, Google was kind of new. It was a new thing. I mean, we were joking earlier. I remember when getting ranked on Alta Vista was a big deal. So I kind of did it backwards. I actually got started with paid traffic. It was the first thing that I ever did because that was kind of one of the only ways to get traffic. I bought it, and thank God some people clicked on my link and signed up for my stuff. I then got lured in to the siren song that was free traffic. So for a few years there, all of my traffic was free, and I thought, wow, this is it. I have, I have reached the pinnacle of existence. I don't have to pay for traffic, and money falls from the sky. And then it all went away. And so it was in about 2006 when I was used to receiving really big checks and not having to pay for traffic, that it all went away. And it went away literally overnight. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. It was here and then it was gone the very next day. So it was that day when I said, if I don't control my traffic source, then I'm dead. I'm not going to have a business. And at that moment, I didn't have a business. I mean, I still had some products and some ideas, but I had no customers coming in my door anymore. And so we had to figure it out really quickly. And so that's when it was. I remember it distinctly. It was the summer of 2006. After getting my brains beat in, and I said, this is it. I've got to be able to control my customer flow and my source of traffic, or I'm not going to be around for very long. Markets are inherently efficient. And if you're not able to give somebody a fair amount, or some entity, if you're not able to give them a fair amount of money in exchange for traffic, for eyeballs, for attention, whatever it is, if you're just generating it out of thin air, you've got to know that somebody's going to come along and they're going to figure out how to do what it is that you're doing. That's going to be the first time that it goes away. When somebody is able to come along, figure out what you're doing, and pour more resources into it better than you. So you got to hope that whatever it is you're doing, that you're the best at it in the world, and that you stay the best at it. But worse than that, then other people are going to figure out how to do it. And people are going to create software and bots and all this other stuff to do it. And they're going to completely decimate it. And then whatever the source of that free traffic is that's currently not making any money off of it, they're going to figure out how to kill it and stop it, because their business is dependent upon killing it and stopping it. There's not a single media source in the world, which, let's be honest, let's like wrap all the traffic sources in the world, whether it's Google, Facebook, blogs, newsletters, they're all media. There's not a single media source in the world that can exist with giving their attention away for free. The first one was assuming that just because it worked in one traffic source, assuming that it's going to work the exact same in a different one. And this can be as simple as, I bought an ad on this website. Is it going to work as well when I buy an ad on this website? And oftentimes it doesn't, right? So the importance of being able to track your different traffic sources separately. I mean, Facebook is going to perform very different when you're buying traffic from them versus Google, versus Twitter, versus if you're buying display advertising on a blog. I mean, they all perform a little bit differently, and so you need to be able to track them all differently. They also don't last forever. So scaling a campaign and thinking, this can't lose, it's working great, and so dumping more money into it and assuming that it's going to last forever. No, you have to change it up. You have to mix it up. And these could be things as simple as, on your ad, changing a background color. I mean, can be enough to reset a particular campaign. And sometimes, the ad performs so well that everybody's seen it and everybody's clicked on it. And you got to move on and do something else, and that's okay. But so I think scaling it without realizing that every ad, just like everything in business, is going to have a life cycle was the biggest one, but also just not understanding the different values across different traffic sources and just throwing money. That's when I really, really got hurt, was when I did that. For me personally, as the business owner, 90% of my time and my attention is spent on customer acquisition and traffic and paid traffic methods. We've got people on the team who are responsible for content and responsible for putting out, free information and stuff like that. But even if I'm going to think about where do I spend my time, and if I'm going to think about my employees and how are they broken down, it's almost exclusively paid traffic. Even things that a lot of people look at and say, oh, there's free traffic, there's SEO and content marketing, that's a joke, right? Search engine optimization is not free, not if you're doing it right. It's a joke. You're paying money for it. I mean, I've got people on our team that are very well-paid people that are responsible for getting us, the rankings that we get. And guess what? They're not working for free. If you're going to hire an SEO agency, they're not going to do it for free. Whatever it is that you're out there doing, if you think that you're going to acquire some traffic for free, you can forget about it. It just doesn't exist. There's no such thing as free traffic. Even when it's free, it's not really free. Yeah, the biggest change for us that really made it work when we started buying traffic effectively was when we started deploying low dollar offers and not just bringing people in and trying to sell them our most expensive thing, the thing that we really wanted them to buy right off the bat. We tried that in the beginning, and for some really targeted sources of traffic, it worked. But when we were going out to people who had no idea who we were, and that's where the big gains come from, right? That's where the big opportunity comes from. I mean, that was the equivalent of walking up to a girl in a bar and saying, hey, nice to meet you, you want to get married, right? We had to realize, and the biggest change that we had to make was on the offer side. The tactical aspects of how do I go about setting up a campaign in Facebook or in Google or in any of these other methods, there's definitely things that you can learn there, and there's ways to do it better than other ways. But for us, it was on the offer creation side where all the breakthroughs came. The biggest tip that I would give somebody who is brand new, just getting started, buying traffic, would be go for buyers. So when you're going out there and you're out there buying media, drive them to a low dollar offer where somebody will give you some money. That's the true test. Opt-ins are great, but drive them to an offer where they're giving you some money. I don't care if it's just $1. We've got lots of offers where we're asking people for $2.95, and then we're moving them through a conversion funnel and they're giving us more. But that's where it works the best. It'll hone in your offer creation because you won't just be lazy and say, oh, I want to get an opt-in. It'll force you to say, what do these people really want? Because when somebody, people only show you what they really want in two ways, their calendar and their wallet. And so if you tell them, I've got this thing, do you want it? And they get out their wallet, their credit card, they enter it into a website to get what it is you're selling, that's when you're doing something. And that's when the whole economics of traffic generation and media buying changes.